Because whenever you're like trying to become who God says you are, which usually is an effort, it's like it's not just like an easy path, like you hop on a cruise. Hello, happy Vlogmas day 7. Can you believe it has been a full week of us celebrating together? And today I decided that it would be fun if we have like a little bit of hot chocolate, and I'm feeling like some real talk, which is kind of strange because I'm not like a real talk person, but I think just after having my little Jesus time this morning, I was like, you know what? I am not the most like vulnerable, real person, and I don't know, I think that just means you're going to the next level together. Maybe it's the fact that, you know, this is like a consistent thing and it's helping me to open up one day at a time with you guys. But anywho, we're going to be making some hot chocolate. I found the recipe from Kristen Johns. Don't know if you have ever checked out her channel, but she's actually just such a sweet, like, breath of fresh air, source of joy, always has the best recipes. Like, it inspired me to want to share recipes. That's a really good. This is my little hot chocolate hot cocoa mix. So we're gonna go into the kitchen, make it now, and then we'll have some chats because that's what friends do. Come along. Best hot chocolate I've ever tasted in my life. And now we have to find all of the ingredients. List with me, otherwise how do I know what to grab? Okay, homemade hot cocoa equals... I didn't realize there's a fire extinguisher in here. Cacao powder, but how much? Oh, yep, that's enough. Sugar. I like using unrefined things. Salt, right. I think that's all we need from here. Right, vanilla. Vanilla. I don't know if you guys have Queen. It's the queen of all vanillas. Call me a comedian. And milk, of course you need milk. And the cream, which will be for the whipped cream. We're also using a Thermomix. How fun is that? I don't even know how to use a Thermomix to whip it, but we're gonna figure it out together, guys. Right, so we need a little pot. And so first you add all of the dried ingredients. So we have 1/4 a cup, 1/2 a cup, 1/3 a cup, and double this. Alright, dry ingredients, cacao. Once you start having homemade things, you really don't turn back. At least I don't turn back. Like homemade pizza, hello. What's that? Homemade cookies. 1/2 a cup. Just mixing it up. And now we add the water, the milk, and the vanilla. Cute hair going on today, don't I? Guys, I'm just kind of lazy today. Not lazy. It's my Sabbath day, so I slept in, didn't eat breakfast until like 11, and then I had soup around 1:30, and now I'm making hot chocolate. I'm gonna have 4 cups of milk. I think that was me. Just me. 2 teaspoons. Yeah. It has like the best smell, but it's really warm on my nose. Maybe there's a recipe book. I really don't like not using recipes, guys. By my visual memory. Yes. Visual memory for the win. Okay. Everyday cooking. Perfect. Come on. Oh. He doesn't like the camera today, obviously. Butterfly. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. 1 cup of cream, 2 teaspoons of sugar. With football games, this is always what I would go and get because it'd be so cold. You'd be snuggled up in your little hoodie thing, cheering your people on with your hot cocoa in your hands. I also have a really funny memory once about at that football games, which I'm going to tell you guys about because it makes me happy. There was a boy that I thought was really cute. Like at the game, we're on like little football stands, we're watching a football game, and all of a sudden, he started holding my hand and I got super nervous, and he was holding it for like 1 minute and I was like, can I have my hand back? And I just pulled it back from him. I was like a little baby. Whoopsies. Brothers. This closely so it doesn't make butter instead of whipped cream, and I didn't want butter, and then all of a sudden I smelled chocolate overflowing. Willy Wonka style, guys. It's ready though. Give me a minute to clean this up. Here we go. Where's my ladle? Can't have hot chocolate without a ladle. You guys can't see my good little chocolatey skills right now. Guys, we are here. We have our cuppa. We have my very relaxed outfit on, which might be like a little bit too large. Look at this. It's not really a cuppa, it's just hot chocolate. But oh my goodness, let me have a sip. Oh, it is so good. I can't describe to you how good it is, but it is like, if you've ever seen Santa Claus and you just see how he like handshakes this hot chocolate, and it's like Santa Claus is like, oh my gosh, how did you make it so good? Like that's what this type of hot chocolate embodies. Like, yum. That's all I have to say. Doing some real talk because I don't think we've ever really done real talk. I do like encouraging things because I like to be encouraging, but this is the real talk, and I thought it might be nice to talk about whenever you have just like doubts and insecurities being whispered in your ear. And what inspired this whole thing today and just having real talk is that I do Sabbath. So in the Bible it talks about how after God created for 6 days, he rested on the seventh. And one of the theological principles with it is that like God didn't actually need rest because he's God of the universe, but perhaps he did it just to show, like be an example to mankind that we actually do need to rest. Like we're not meant to just be running and running and running every single day. Anywho, today I slept in just for a little bit. I usually wake up at 5 to have time with God. So today I woke up at like 7:40, which for me is like a sleep in. And I was like, wow, I haven't slept in this long in like 3 years. I slept in, it was so nice. I just went straight to my Bible and opened it up and started reading, and then I started worshiping, and it was like when I was worshiping, it was just like this beautiful place, but there's always this little whisper in my heart, like, this is what I've created you for. Personally, being vulnerable, telling the whole wide world today, I just feel like I'm supposed to write songs that embed the sacred truth of heaven, which sounds very deep, and I think it is, and sometimes I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. Like, I don't know how to take my devotional time and to create it into a song. And so like the room that I'm in right now has a piano behind it, and so I just went to the piano and I just started playing, and it was literally like this wall of fear just came up in my chest, and I was just like, I have no idea how to be these things. The truth is that I think a lot of times God does whisper to us who God calls us to be. It feels like a mountain because we actually don't think we can reach its tops. Like some people want to reach the top of Mount Everest, but I'm a person who completely forgets that people actually train months to be able to do that, to get used to the climate, to like have different food supplies, for the different air temperatures, for the oxygen levels are different. So it's not like an easy trip, like you actually have to train for it. And I think whenever it comes to who God called us to be, we have to train for it. And it's kind of like a rude awakening. It's also like this truth, because I just keep sensing that the Lord is saying, you need to come to the table, come to the table, come to the table. But for me, coming to the table is like coming to the piano. Show you what I'm talking about. I was just sitting here and I was just kind of like playing around with this chord. Goes like that. That was a little bit of a like what Jesus would be singing to me, but it all started with like that little phrase of like come. This is what happened is I was just sitting outside at the table, just kind of started hearing like come to the table, come to the table, and then I opened up my journals because I like to reread through journal entries, because whenever you're like trying to become who God says you are, which usually is an effort, it's like it's not just like an easy path, like you hop on a cruise and you're on your way. It's more like you hop on a sailboat, you're trying to figure out how the winds go through the sails, you're trying to figure out how to steer the boat, and it's like madness. This is what it was. Beloved, what is the enemy saying that it is time to let go? What words, what images, what dreams hold you captive that he's been placing in your mind? Some of them are that you are not who I have spoken, you will not be with the one I have chosen for you, that your greatest dreams will never come true, and that you'll have to settle for less in all areas. It is not humility to accept such truths, it is captivity. I wish to take you higher than you could ever imagine and worship. I wish to sit with you day and night, downloading the secrets of heaven inside of you. I wish to make you famous, to be that kind, generous, creative, adventurous best friend that you know you are. I wish to use you as a prophet on this earth to lead my Israel back to me. I long for these things. I long to give them to you. You've got to trust me. I would never lead you astray. Keep looking my way and find all that you've been waiting for open. Come in, come in, come in. You're right on time. Of Jesus. And so the things that are spoken in there is like, it reminds me of Abraham when the Lord said, I'm going to bless you and make you famous. It wasn't like a famous that we think of today where it's like, you know, I want to say Hollywood names, but I don't want to bring people down. So I just think of famous people like Hollywood. I don't think it's a fame like that. I think it's a fame where it's like all of a sudden, like your name is just going to be able to represent God, who is the most famous person in the universe, I think. And I think that's all of our job, is to be able to make God famous. That is my prayer. I just want to make Jesus famous. And how do you make Jesus famous? You make his name known. You tell people who he is. Like, my prayer is always that whenever people come on this channel is that they're going to feel at home, like I'm talking with them, and also that they're sitting with Jesus. When I was 15, I needed somebody to do this. Like, I needed someone who could lead me in the ways of Christ, to say words like this that I had no idea God could download to people in a journal, or to tell them that it's not easy to become who you are. It's a chosen effort. If I would have known that, I would have started a lot sooner. And so what my real chat and real talk with you about today is that no matter what it is that you feel like is inside of you, like, you can replace these words where it says, I wish to take you higher than you could ever imagine with your art. I wish to sit with you day and night, downloading the designs of your dreams. I wish to make you an influencer in your workplace, so that you are someone that people come to get strategies. And that's exactly what Jesus is saying. I think that recently I've just been hearing a lot of people talk about things like that. Like, we're all in this prolonged waiting, but at the same time I feel like we're in a prolonged becoming. And the becoming is where the waitiness for the next season ahead comes. And I guess whatever it is that you're going through, that's my prayer, is that you know that in the wait, the W-A-I-T, wait, the weightiness of heaven comes. The W-E-I-G-H-T, Enos. Comes upon you, the weightiness of your anointing, the weightiness of your mantle, and the mantle that God's going to put upon your shoulders, and even discovering what that is, I think that's whenever we start to take ground on the land that we're meant to. If we start becoming who He's called us to be, then we're already taking, at least steps towards to reaching the top of Mount Everest. Real chat says that I just finished my book, and part of me is so afraid that it's not going to reach many people, that makes me sad, not for like Katie Mitchell's name. It makes me sad because I just think that I might get emotional here. I just think that after all the years that I trudged forward for it, it wasn't so that the reason was never for like me being an author. It was because I just wanted people to know this part of God's heart, to just think that if someone had this book in their hands, they may just find hope in it, especially in this time where a lot of people have lost hope. I feel like this book is perfect. And yeah, so it's like I have a fear that it's finished, it's not going to fulfill the purpose that it was made, which is definitely a human flesh thing. Like, I have to trust the Lord that I said yes for 8 years, and now I believe that He's going to do beyond the imaginable with it, and I hope He does. And if you haven't seen it, just check out day 3. That is whenever I talked about it being a perfect gift for Christmas. It's like a beautiful book to have on, and I guess technically on your coffee table rather than your shelf. That's where I'm gonna have mine. I think it's just good to kind of chat and say that it's not easy becoming who God has called you to be. And I think if it was easy, we wouldn't really need God for it. So whatever it is that you're wrestling with, I just pray courage over you, and I pray peace to surround you. I pray that you talk to God about these things. Be raw with Him like I was. Fear at the end of the day is that God's breath won't breathe upon what's in my hands and what my hands have brought Him. And that is a very real place. And so I guess this word is quite timely for me to read again, because it's like, what is the enemy saying? That it's time to let go? And what is it that he's saying that I don't want to give to you? Like, do you think that I want to hold back my blessings? And do you think I want to hold back the dreams that I've placed in your heart? Like, don't you think they're there for a purpose? And that's, I think, what maybe you and I both need to hold on to, because I think even though I'm expressing my fears to you, that there's probably fears that you have in your heart and maybe you're relating with right now. Like, if let's just say you're my best friend, and I know that you have dreams in your heart that you've had since you were young, and it's been hard for you to believe in them. If I could urge you on as a best friend, I would urge you on and say that there's dreams in your heart for a reason. There's promises over your life for a reason, and not everything makes sense that happened in the past few years, but I do think that there's purpose that can be seen in every day that we give to God. So I guess that's what I would leave you with, is that just find purpose in the everyday. Let's see, maybe I can play you another song at the piano. These fears alone, they conquer us. It's just hard for us to have perspective whenever you're in a fear zone. So it's like you need somebody to come in and kind of push you out of that deer in the headlights thing, and to just go on off to where God's called you to be. So maybe I can write you a song about that right now. Lord, help me write a song about combating fear. Da, 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 da. I know you've been afraid. 1,000 words have mocked you of the words I've said. Walk into the light. There is a fight inside of you, I see. Keep drawing closer. Keep drawing closer. just imagine that this is very zoomed up. Oh, yes. Guys, I think I feel like I'm forgetting one. We have the footballs. Yes. And the Northern Star. Wow, I just feel like that was Jesus shining for us. Obviously, Northern Star gotta go straight in the middle. It'd be cool to talk about Jesus' cousin, John, and how even his birth was like just this crazy miracle and like at the same time. So it says, the birth of John, this is still in Luke 1. When Elizabeth was full term in her pregnancy, she bore a son. And her neighbors and relatives, seeing that God had overwhelmed her with his mercy by making her pregnant, celebrated with her. His mother intervened to know he is to be called John, which right there, it's kind of cool because already we have a specific name that God has obviously revealed to be John. And so they're like, no one in your family is named John, which is the custom of the time. A little bit earlier, it says, and all of a sudden an angel appeared to him. So Zachariah was very paralyzed in fear. An angel reassured him, don't fear, your prayer has been heard. Elizabeth, your wife, will bear a son by you. You are to name him John. You're going to leap like a gazelle for joy, and not only you, many will delight in his birth, will achieve great stature with God. All of a sudden, he's able to speak again because what he didn't believe was now believed. And I actually think there's something in that our disbelief can take away our voice, even like we were just talking about today. Didn't plan this, guys. But our disbelief can rob our voice because all of a sudden it makes us not able to believe. So I think maybe what you and I should just be doing is aligning our words with the words that God has delivered to us and spoken over us. So I pray that this was such a good Vlogmas for you. Day 7, I know that it was a little bit more deep, a little bit more raw. I hope that you're okay with that. It's good to just get a little hot chocolate out that brings you joy and to face hard things together. Stop speaking metaphorically now and coming back to you and the Vlogmas. And tomorrow we're going to be seeing Christmas lights, which I'm super duper excited about. I hope you're excited about it too. But yes, happy Vlogmas. Pray that you're being filled with festive cheer. Also hope that this brings joy and hope to your heart, which also is a part of Christmas. Zachariah, if you are disbelieving, I pray that you're gonna have this change in spirit to where you're believing, and that your voice will be loosed on the things that God has spoken over you, and they'll start to come to pass because there's something on your life. You are made with a purpose. See you tomorrow for day 8.